Hi, welcome to ET Song Galaxy. Even though I do relate to songs a lot, that's not the only thing in life. I have a variety of things that I like to demonstrate or show on this site. And YouTube has a lot of variety, so I'm one of those guys that just like to do many things. So today I want to share to you how to sand correctly a car. So the first part kind of got distracted by noise, so I'm going to start all over again. And so sanding a car is very important because if you do not sand correctly, all your mistakes are going to show up on your paint job. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let me get started here. Um, I'm holding a 180 grit, and I like to use it because it cuts faster. And a lot of guys use, after using Bondo, they use 100, but I use 180, but I use 100 if it's Bondo. Bondo is thicker than putty, and glaze is something in between putty and Bondo. The good Bondo is the light Bondo. The old-fashioned Bondo is way too thick and it's hard to sand, and you have to do like use Bondo thinner to make it lay better. So poly glaze is really good stuff. It sticks to bumpers, sticks to metal, you name it. And when you use Bondo, your surface has to be down to the metal, because it only sticks to metal. Now, glaze and putty, it sticks to primer. You have to use primer. In this case, there's still primer below the paint, so I don't have to worry about that because it's not rusty. Okay, so let's get started here. Let's see if you can notice what I'm doing. This is one of the ways that I learned in apprenticeship school. See if you can catch on. Well, I'm sanding straight across, back and forth, and I'm always meeting in the middle. So now I'm going to go to the left, kind of upward, and back into the center. Now I'm going to go lower, making another half X on the other side, coming back in the middle, keeping my block straight. Now I go back up to the other side with a half X, and guess what? I meet back in the middle. Now I'm going to go to the other side, doing a half X to the lower area. Come back and I'm meeting in the middle. Now I'm going to go to the right side, doing a half X. Oh man, these motorcycles are loud as the hell. And Harleys are nothing but noise. Okay, so, and Hondas will leave them in the dust any day, even if they're an old Honda. So I'm coming always back in the middle. So now you got the idea to keep the block straight horizontally. And you can also sand in circles, counterclockwise or clockwise. So I'm back in the middle again. Now I'm going to half X upward to the left, half X downward to the right, meeting back in the middle again, then going to half X downward to the left side. Now I'm meeting in the middle again, keeping my block straight. Now I'm going to the right side, making a half X. So now you got the idea. Look here, this is not sanding too well because it's too low. It's a low spot. So I remove my sanding block, and I got deposits, right? So I have to get rid of those deposits, so I just dust it off. And really you want to use a respirator, you know, like a dust mask, because you really want to protect your lungs. Auto body work is very hazardous, and the deposits are very, not good for your lungs. It's worse than smoking. So wear a respirator, and always think of safety, safety, safety. Let's get that low spot now. So I removed the sanding block, took off some of the deposits by banging it against something. Now it's more flexible, so now I can dig in to that low spot, and I can do circles, or the technique that I showed you earlier, but in this case circles are better, going clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay, so let's see. Now I pretty much got that low spot. So now I pretty much want to demonstrate. Now I clean it off, and you do want to clean the surface as good as possible. Clean, 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 because nothing's going to stick. And a lot of guys use air blowers. You can use a paintbrush to dust it off, things like that. Air blower is ideal. Okay. Hey, I see some guy did some body work. There's some Bondo left over. Okay, so that's one part. Let me get something to clean this off. Be right with you. Coming back here. Okay, a little review. Bondo sticks to metal only, so you have to, when you use Bondo, you have to use hardener and then mix it a ratio. But you don't want to use a lot of hardener, because that stuff's going to get hard quick. Just a dab across how much you want to use, depending how much you use. So you have to mix it well. Turn out one color. Sometimes the hardener is red, sometimes it's blue. And then, so like I said, you might want to ask the auto body guy when you look them up in the phone book, or call an auto shop where you can pick up auto body supplies. So light Bondo is ideal. It's better than the old Bondo. Old Bondo is really like mud, and you have to use Bondo thinner to make it work well. Bondo light, it is more flexible and easier to sand. Poly glaze and metal glaze is really good stuff. It's like a finishing touch of a surface that you want to glaze it. And putty is for small jobs like scratches, okay, and dings and pings. Okay, so and you have to understand grits, okay? I like to use 180 grit before a paint job. Some guys like to use 320. It's ideal, and they dry sand. 180 cuts faster, much faster. It saves a lot of time, and by the time you put primer sealer, the color, which is the color of the paint, and then clear coat, all that's gonna go away. And when you sand, you want to scuff. You have to use your sound judgment, your discretion. You don't want to dig in real deep and wild, because you're going to have deep scratches. But when you scuff real nice, then you're leaving a real nice surface. Okay? So we're at that point, and I hope you caught on to my technique with the horizontal and half X's. Okay? So now I'm going to clean it off. You guys use air blowers. That's fine. I use a paintbrush, a dry paintbrush. It'll take it right off. Okay, so I cleaned it all up pretty well. And I want to demonstrate how to use glaze. Putty is a light glaze. And let me remind you, it's for scratches and pings and dings. Okay, that's what putty is. Glaze is good. That's in between Bondo